Hello! Welcome to my brief little analysis on just my story, Commune of the Entity. I know sometimes the timeline can be confusing, and some of you may have no clue what's going on, so this video will just explain everything that has currently happened, that I've currently shown you guys. Now, the ending I have here is not the ending of it generally, so yeah, enjoy! The sun and the moon, also known as luminary and celestial, are the creators of many universes, or just regular stars you see in the sky. One universe broke and spread an infection out to Lumium Celestial's realm. Celestial became infected with this. They became a new person with new intentions, now becoming Pathogen. Luminary destroyed this infected universe completely and sent Pathogen away to their own realm so they wouldn't do any more harm. Many years later, in 1992, a peculiar star appeared. It wasn't a universe, nor a regular star, but a living being, an angel, as well as a shapeshifter. Their name is Solar, named by Luminary. Solar later formed as a humanoid being when they were 5 years old, starting off as a star as a baby, but they were infected with Pathogen's virus, causing a later issue. When 7 years old, Solar was interested in the universes. They wanted to go to one of them themselves. Hearing this, Luminary allowed them to go. She said her goodbye, the last thing Solar heard from their mother for many decades. Solar was dropped into a small town in Wyoming. They didn't know anything about this world. They were very lost. But in this confusion, a young girl named Zoe found them and helped them out. She and her family kept care of Solar for 6 years. Solar even decided to name themselves Zero, inspiration from their sister's name. Remember that virus Solar got? That virus fused into their body, into their brain. The virus created a being that wants control, violence, and a strange craving for human hearts. This thing fought for control over Zero's body as they grew older, and eventually, it won. This thing, calling itself the Infection, or also Zero, killed Zoe when she was 12. They ran away into a forest, the Tranquillo Forest, afterwards. Solar was extremely confused and distressed about the situation, making them more vulnerable and weak. They came up with another name, Angel, to separate themselves from the infection. For the syllabus. Growing older, Zero lived in the Tranquillo Forest for most of their life. Infection's control loosened on Angel during this time, as nothing interesting happened. The only time they take control was hunting for hearts by stalking and breaking into homes. Angel grew a connection with a future-telling child they found abandoned and hurt in the forest, CotE. CotE and Angel had a somewhat sibling-like bond as they would look out for each other. CotE was quite concerned with Zero's constant mood swings and started separating themselves from Zero as they got older. Infection was bored and craved worshippers. They believed they needed some praise for being a creation of the moon, so that's exactly what they did. They started a cult. A cult of happiness, they called it. Using their excellent manipulation skills, as well as their ability to physically communicate to people through minds, they could grab people in their lowest times and make them cult members. And food. Infection used an old yet sturdy church in the Tranquillo Forest as a place for worship, and also a home for them. The cult was a success. Infection got the sacrifices that it craved for years. The cult assigned jobs to people, like its own humanoid messenger, Jasper, as well as its child disseminator, Lilac. But despite all their success, it wanted more entertainment. Infection had already spread its virus underground to the roots of oddly placed aspen trees, which made the trees grow eyes that were connected to Infection's sight. Infection took this advantage to create zombies entirely created from the virus and roots. The zombies spread throughout the town for over a month, starting on December 23rd, 2018. During this apocalypse, a human named Leo Miller entered the realm of Limbo, a glitch in the sorting system when one dies. Zero was alerted by this and became curious as a human being hasn't been there in a long while. They traveled to Limbo and introduced themselves to Leo. Leo asked many questions, and Zero took their time to answer all of them. They started getting more comfortable with each other since Zero started visiting Limbo more. Maybe a little too comfortable. After around a month of the apocalypse, a discovery team located the spawn point of these zombies and headed towards it. They discovered a pulsating eye on an aspen tree and hacked it with an axe. This pulled the zombies back into the ground and officially ended the apocalypse. Infection was left with one bloody eye, though. 4 months after the apocalypse ended, Zero finally found a way to get Leo out of Limbo. They both went back home, and everything was back to normal. Except for the fact that Leo was now half human, half zombie, and blind in his right eye, but besides that, everything was back to normal. Leo would frequently visit Zero in their church until he discovered Infection's horrific nature 2 weeks after his revival. Leo decided to leave Zero. When Leo left to go back to his house, he found a 5-month-old baby abandoned on the streets. Whoever her parents were must have decided to leave her after the apocalypse. Leo took care of her and officially adopting her, naming her Ivy. 7 years later. We haven't heard from Angel in a while, have we? Neither did anyone else. Angel lost almost all control against Infection unless absolutely necessary. For example, healing people that Infection brutally hurt. Yet, Angel did find a way to communicate with Leo. They communicated with him through his dreams. It took Leo a bit to trust Angel as he had no clue they even existed, and thought they were Infection playing a trick on him. But Leo quickly realized Angel wasn't lying. In the meanwhile, Infection was thinking of ways to get revenge on Leo without hurting him directly. They realized one of the main things that makes Leo happy was Ivy. So that's exactly who they went after. Infection scared Ivy into getting no sleep and having nightmares almost every night. Angel knew about this plan but was too afraid to tell Leo as they didn't want to worry him. Instead, they tried convincing him to kill them so that their suffering from infection can be ended, along with everyone else. Leo disagreed, believing that there'd be another way they could do this, but Angel persisted that there wasn't. Eventually, Infection got impatient and just straight up teleported into Ivy's closet at 12 a.m. Ivy got so scared that she ran out of the house and into the forest, right into the Infection's trap. Infection sent out Lilac to go get Ivy and bring her to them. Lilac, of course, followed these instructions until she started to have fun with Ivy along the way. Remember, Lilac is only 8 years old. Ivy is 7 years old. Lilac has never been able to have fun with another child ever, so this was the first time speaking to someone her age. Infection reminded Lilac of what she was supposed to be doing, so she continued on. Leo was woken up by Angel in his dreams and immediately ran out of the house, knowing what Infection was going to do. He followed the arrows on the trees as far as he could, but they later stopped. Lilac found him sitting under a tree, looking desperate for any kind of hope, and helped guide him to the church. Once arriving at the church, Infection began taunting Leo about Ivy and her death. This angered Leo and inflicted him to swing at Zero with his axe. He cut its head off and swung the axe into its skull several times. Being covered with Zero's blood, Leo found Abigail, a cult member, friend, and mother figure to Lilac. Leo, Abigail, and Lilac all followed a blood trail leading into the bushes. There lies Ivy. Angel is sent back to Luminary. Infection is sent back to Pathogen. Angel has that someone's in limbo sense again, so they ask Luminary if she can remember Ivy dying, but she can't. Angel knows that Ivy is in limbo and pleads that they're sent there to go to revive her. After a day or two, Luminary agrees despite it being against the laws. Angel would have to have some kind of punishment whenever they arrive back in Luminary's realm, because they have revived 2 people, and also themselves. Before Angel was sent off, Luminary told them that Ivy was actually created for Leo and Angel specifically. Ivy's quote-unquote design was based off them. Just look into her eyes, Lumi said. Angel is sent to Limbo to go help Ivy and get her out. Once arriving back home, Angel and Ivy go to Leo's house. The family is reunited together. Angel started living with Leo and got married to him. They continued to raise Ivy together. One day, Angel was out in the forest and they needed to clear their head from some things. Along the way, they spotted a young child. They decided it's best if he was provided shelter, so they took him into their household. Angel and Leo now had 2 children, Ivy and Aspen. The viruses in the roots of the aspens, they're still there. This gives infection the access to return back to Earth. They come back, but not with their usual power. Most of their power came from Angel's abilities, really. They do have some of their own. They are now stuck in the roots, pulling them down to the ground. One day, they notice a runaway child passing by in the forest. This child is Ember, later to be adopted by Leo and Angel. Infection stops Ember and explains to her that there will be a family up ahead, and that she will get protection there. But Infection wants something from her in cost of that. They want Ember to bring Ivy to them, so they can handle her once and for all. Ember agrees, and runs up ahead to the Miller's household. Ember is seen passed out injured by the house when Leo spots her outside. He quickly grabs her and tells Angel. They bandage her up and let her rest. A couple months after Ember is adopted, she is reminded of her deal. Ember decides not to take Ivy and face Infection herself out in the snow. She treads her way towards where the Infection is. Once there, she explains that she doesn't want to bring Ivy. The Infection gets angered by this and threatens her. Because Ember is so cold, she can't and doesn't fight Infection back. And that is all I have revealed in the story so far. I hope you enjoyed. This is just 0. Remember, there are many side plots to this story. If you want me to explain those, I would be glad to, because I know you guys like the other characters as well, and I would love to explain their stories as well. Just give me some time, and if you just want to hear that, let me know. And if you have any questions, also let me know. Thank you so much. Goodbye.